You want to go to the combine? You ready to combine? We had some escapees this morning. The red cows. 6 of the last few. Hey! I gotta go back in there. Okay, we got this pen scraped up and ready for calves on Monday. Today's Saturday. Drilling wheat. Nice October day. The next morning, we got about half of my field done. Won't quite finish it up today because we've got a wedding going on here at the wedding venue, so we're gonna have to quit a little early. Don't want to be disturbing them. It's okay though, because we don't have any other soybean fields ready to cut quite yet. And also K-State's playing. And even though K-State's pretty terrible at football this year, I'm a pretty diehard fan. I'm always gonna want to watch the game. So I'll probably just watch the game while the wedding ceremony goes on. And then we'll be able to finish the last 10 to 15 acres of this on Monday. But we're gonna knock at least 30 or 40 acres out here late this morning, early this afternoon. Let's get started. Nathan and Kendall and Dad are working on cattle stuff and drilling wheat. So I'm just over here by myself. We don't have any other fields of beans ready yet. So we'll see what over here is. I think it'll be better. Well, there was still about 1/3 of a tank of water in there, but this is my first customer. I need to turn on the pump. There's her calf. Nice number stout. Number 7 calf. Oh, that cow lost a tag. Pretty good. By far the best beans I've ever cut. So I've got about 40 acres left of this field. Those first 60 acres were kind of up on that knoll that I was talking about that used to raise 30 bushel beans. And then now we're down here in the low ground that I'd raise 60 bushel dry land on. Well, our field average is 71 after the worst acres. And I mean, this is essentially reading 100 bushel an acre, which is crazy. And I don't know how much to trust it. My yield estimates for this drip irrigation, I was hoping for 70. I was thinking there'll be some at 50, some at 90, hoping for 70. I think it's gonna surpass my expectations. So we'll see. We've got some left here to go. And the yield monitor you can't always trust, but you can trust the amount of trucks that leave the field. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy if it averages that high. Always nice to drive by the cows, all spread out, munching on corn residue. Here at Cargill in Salina, just after dark, hauling a load of soybeans in. So a lot has been made of the tariff debate online in the media. We've got a place to go with these soybeans. All farmers have a place to sell their soybeans. The price just isn't very good. It's been a really good soybean year. There's too much soybeans in the world. China's not buying from the US because of the tariffs. That being said, the price was also this low last year and has been in the past. As you can see on this graphic, about 80% of US soybeans are used for meal, and 97% of that meal goes to animal feed. The other 20% that's not meal is used for oil, which goes to food, biodiesel, and other uses. About half of U.S. soybeans are exported, half are used here in the country. And of the half that is exported, China typically buys between 40 and 60%. So we're looking at about a quarter of demand that is lost, but most of that is being made up by selling to other countries or increasing domestic use. South America is growing their soybean acres a lot, so it kind of cuts into the U.S. market. We're actually going to make money on these soybeans because the yield is so good. In Kansas, our inputs are cheap enough that if it rains, we make money. If it doesn't, we don't. So we're not like some of the corn and soybean states that have all of their things down to this much margin and they can pay that much cash rent. We're not like that here in Kansas. So we're not going to have any problem making money on these soybeans. But do I wish the price was higher? Yes. Yes, I do. All right, made it back to my house. The wedding is still hopping. They're having a good old time.
These cattle have been out here 40 days and there's still some spots that just about look untouched. There's a lot of acres of feed out here. I found them out there on the north end. Okay, this cow raised her first calf for us last year. I kept her back as a heifer. And her tag, remember last year her calf was 4-531. This year she has a real cow tag. So we'll see if she can do better than raising the smallest calf. Last year hers was the smallest out of the first year heifers, so she looks good. I haven't seen her calf, but hard to see everything out here. Here's the corner where all the calves are. Look at that. They look pretty good. There's one of my mismatches. I have the 138 cow and the 520 calf. Then the other cow is switched. 520 calf, 520 cow with the 138. But I have it written down, so hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me any. There's one gaining weight. A lot of happy cows out here. I'm glad I found them all kind of joined. I saw one calf cough one time, number 6 coughed. But everything else, I don't see any signs of any form of stress. They are pretty happy. I also changed the battery out on the fence this morning.
Well, we are servicing combines. Nathan's trying to watch a YouTube video on how to fix something on the header. It just started raining. I was trying to grease. Thankfully I'm under a little bit of an overhang, but we're not cutting beans today.
Calves are here. Let's keep them loaded, see what they weigh. 88, 89. So here's a bunch of them lined up eating. He is running. Way to go. Putting that in there.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Steele. Happy birthday to you. Now blow out the candle. Blow it out. Yeah!
So most of them are at the bunk. They're pretty noisy. 90 of them here. It's a maintenance day. It's cloudy. It rained a little bit yesterday. So we did a look over of the 7430 and the disc, get it ready to do a little bit of some passes before wheat, just on some edges of some fields, especially over at Greg's. And then this has got some manure to haul for a neighbor to pile. And so just giving it a thorough look through. Took the silage tops off of it, because in the winter we won't have any silage to haul. So we should be clear for that. So just trying to get caught up on some things. Okay, so these calves, they flicked up their ration from this morning. So we actually fed them in the afternoon instead of the evening. And they've eaten most of that. So now we'll give them more hay this evening. Good to see them up hungry. I put the M7 back on my feed wagon today. We considered doing some corn stalks, so it would be needed on the swather and the baler and possibly the rake. But we just have so much feed and it's been kind of sprinkling. We didn't think it was worth it for a load of corn stalks. So I went ahead, put it back on here. I was able to get back to 3 loads a day. I was really close to needing to do 4 loads a day, but I made it work by doing a cow load with the feed truck kind of separate. Those ones on pasture, they're going to start getting some protein with the feed truck. We don't have any cattle to sell this week or next week, and so I'll stay consistent on the big cattle while increasing my 3 pens that we're transitioning from starter to grower 1. We are working these 90 head of superior calves, mostly black, some black white face and some red with the white face you can see mixed in there. Pretty good cattle, we like them. They weigh 604 pounds. They're pretty gentle to work with, and we are giving them a different shot, different vaccination than we generally give, because they've already had the shot that we generally give once plus a booster plus multi-min, and so we're giving them a nasal shot, which is a little faster reacting in their immune system, and it's something they haven't had before, but still a modified live. So we'll hope for some good results here. All right, I got Nathan helping me today. Dad is hauling manure for a neighbor, getting it out of their pen and taking it to our field. And then Greg is drilling wheat, so. Okay, we're almost done. Yep. We did get a call from Nathan's wife in the middle that we had a couple cows out, so I went and took care of that, and they followed me back into the pasture, but it's about 2 left, I think. All right, we just worked them. I fed a little bit more hay. They were pretty much eating it all by the time we'd worked them. I left a few in the pen to eat, and then the first ones we got to work, they kind of cleaned it up. We put the 32 fullest ones over in that pen to give a little more space for this pen. They probably will pick up eating ration a little more. Some of them might weigh closer to 650. Some of these probably weigh closer to 520 or 540. Filling up some more water tanks here. They should all be resting and laying down right after this. There was about 6 laying down, so I came over here to check the water.
Drilling a cover crop for my uncle today. Getting ready to fill the seed with his gravity trailer behind my pickup here.
Just kind of looking at what's been regrowing out of here. I mean, these cows have eaten a lot, certain patches, but it's just been regrowing, and we haven't had a freeze yet.
we got everything in front of my house done on these drip irrigated beans. So we are moving to the next field because what's behind my house over there is still green, testing about 15%. So we're gonna go to the next field. For those of you wondering what the yield on these drip irrigated beans was, we're not done because we still got behind the house, but based on the front, it's gonna make between 70 and 80 as long as these behind the house make close to 75. So pretty good. Definitely what I was hoping for.
Bye, boys.
So with these pears out here, I'm going to start supplementing them a little bit. I'm also giving them water, since the water, they don't have access to the big pond. They have access to this little sliver of pond. And it's a little too shallow for them to drink out of. So I'm going to give them a little silage, stretch this along, because I don't think I'm going to put them across the road with the other 43.
Like we've had a lot of kinks to work out on the soybean harvest, but things I think are a little better now. I'm hoping that they're ready to roll. So it's like 11:30 or something. We just got started after fixing a lot of little things. So I actually want to go drill, which the drill is having some kinks too, but we are gonna make sure this is running first. Gonna take out, clean that up, yep, okay. See, last night we were having some dragging issues. We needed a skid plate, which I'd been meaning to get on, and I hadn't yet. But it wasn't too bad to put on. We already had it, so now we should be cutting a lot smoother. Alrighty, I'm gonna go drill. Hopefully they're working now. Getting some stuff done.
All right, folks, we got moved over to our neighbor's full circle irrigated beans that were definitely ready. They're running in the 12% moisture range. It's a little weird this year. The irrigated beans are earlier than the dryland. You can see it on this quarter of beans because the corners of the pivot are still green, but inside the circle is dry. So it's usually opposite of that. The irrigated usually takes longer, but this year with the timing of the rains, we got so much rain that it was like, it was like the whole field was irrigated, and then the rain shut off in August, and the dry land kind of just pressed the pause button until that next rain came, where the irrigated went ahead with its progression and got ready to normal time. But a lot of our dryland beans we're not going to be able to cut till the end of October, which is pretty late, honestly. So kind of a weird year in that sense. But the neighbor's beans are yielding really well, just like my drip irrigated beans are. Sometimes in beans the grain cart doesn't stay that busy, but I'm staying pretty busy with 2 combines.
there's my mom in a semi. She's keeping up hauling with a very short haul today, 3 trucks. So Greg's got a full cart of beans. My dad's finishing up that little strip. I should finish up this little strip. And Nathan's drilling wheat. So pretty good, efficient day.
All right, knocked out this half of the pivot. Can move over to the east half. Look at that vlogger. Influencers in the wild.
Well, I've got a guard out in my combine. I had sickles in my cab, but I didn't have guards, so I have to come to my other. Get one out of this combine over here. They're the same head, neck on. Yeah, I've got what I need. Guard and bolts in one bag, nuts in the other. And my tools are over here. See how quickly I can do it. I'm probably faster at changing the net wrap on a baler than I am at changing the guard on a combine, but I'll do it as quick as I can.
All right, we're progressing through the dirty window. The east half of the pivot. More good beans. Here you can see the difference between the pivot corner and then what was under irrigation. That's ripe, and this is not.
Alright, making good progress here. Dad and Greg switched, so my dad's now in the green car. But it's made a lot of trips here. Filling trucks. Good afternoon. There you can see him disappearing out of the bin. Out of one bin into another.
Well, Kendall and Dad are going to quit and go feed cattle. Nathan has been drilling wheat. Mom has been hauling for us, and she's ready to quit. So it looks like it will just be me, the one-man operation for the rest of the night. But we aren't going to be able to cut very much longer anyway because we're going to run out of trucks.
I've got a little bit of daylight left to feed the first load of calves. The second one will probably be in the total dark. So, always nice to have these lights. Yeah, I made it to water the cows after dark, after chores. I had supper first, so I came out here. There was still a couple inches left at the bottom, but better to have it full now than have to come out here in the morning, because they'll be making their way over here. I'm sure they drink early in the morning, so.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out our music videos linked in the description. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, and explore our website, www.petersonfarmbrothers.com. See you guys next time.